Today, we are going to continue the Healthy New You program and laying down the weight. And this gets me a little emotional. Today, I'm going to share some new statistics on Black women and heart disease. And in studio today, it's just me and you. That's it. No callers, no guests. It's just me and you because I have so much to say. I'm going to be giving you vital, life saving information from my heart to yours. Simply. That's it. The information I have that I'm going to share here today will help to save your life or the life of someone else that you know and love. And I'd love for your feedback on this. And as always, the Good Doctor Live events are free. They're my community service to you because what's the sense of holding on to all of this good information if I can't share it with you? So, yes, I'm coming and it's free. Bring your people, bring your mom and them, bring everybody. Come on out and come see the Good Doctor. So if you'd like to be a vendor or to reserve a seat, send me an email at askthegooddoctor@msn.com. And if you feel as though you're going through some health challenges, and probably after I describe what I'm going to talk to you about today, you'll want to see me personally or talk to me personally. And I'm offering a 1-hour phone consultation, a Healthy New You 1-hour phone consultation with me by phone. And you can send me an email if you're interested in that as well. And back in October last year for Breast Health Month, we had a breast thermography day in my Pocono office, and we're having another thermography day in my Pocono office as well, and it's going to be on Saturday, March 30th. And the thermography, and I am saying thermography versus mammography, it is a safe breast scan using infrared technology that can detect an anomaly in the breast 6 to 10 years prior to something going on in the breast. You would want that. And now we have access to a grant thanks to the people from the United Breast Health Foundation. So you want to get in and you want to apply for a grant, you have to have enough time to apply for the grant to help you pay for this, okay? So the date is Saturday, March 30th. If you'd like an appointment, just come and see me send me an email at askthegooddoctor@msn.com. Now, I'm so glad to hear from so many of you that you want to join with us on the Healthy New Year, New You program and laying down the weight. And yes, it is true. We really do want to get 50,000 women to join in this journey because, like I always say, when mama is broken, the whole daggone house is sick. I know that a lot of you were amazed to hear the testimonies that Denise lost 10 dress sizes in 10 weeks using the Jamaica Moringa product. And the answer is definitely yes, you can too. But the truth is, when you start to shed that physical weight, the emotional issues will fall away as well as your physical issues, just like with Denise, okay? And the one thing that happens when you start to lose weight is it takes pressure off of the heart. And the heart does not have to work as hard to pump blood throughout the body. And one of the most alarming statistics I have ever heard is that Black women are in the #1 position for being at risk for heart disease and are dying from heart disease. That's it. Did you know that as a Black woman, you have a #1 health enemy, and that is heart disease? Oh, yes. It's heart disease. Now, I am sounding the alarm today. I wish I had a bell to ring, to shake, to something. I'm sounding the alarm today. Now, I've shared a whole lot of life-saving information with you in the time that I have been on the air here, a lot of it. But I would have to say that this is probably one of the most important things that I have ever conveyed, ever. The Black Women's Health Imperative.org says that heart disease is so bad in the Black women's community that you should wake up thinking about it. Okay, I'm going to take a big intentional gulp there. That you should wake up thinking about it. You should talk about it with every woman you know, they said, because it's killing us and it's killing us right now. As crazy as this might sound, though, heart disease is the leading cause of death for women in the United States, period. But only about 1 in 3 Black women are aware of it. To make matters worse, this killer issue is more common in Black women than in any other women on the planet. American Black women, let me clarify that, okay? Now, in the late 1990s, researchers discovered women were just about as likely as men to be diagnosed with heart disease, and for most of them, they were more than likely to die from it. They didn't have the classic signs and symptoms, and it went undiagnosed and untreated. Now, Jennifer Mary, a medical doctor and a cardiology professor at the Zucker School of Medicine in New York, says that along with chest pains, women who suffer from fatigue, shortness of breath, indigestion, pain in the neck, back, or jaw, nausea, or anxiety in months leading to the heart attack, all of those were symptoms. I'm going to throw out there constipation as well. Now, in more than half of the cases, according to one recent study in the medical journal, doctors fail to recognize these symptoms. And I have to add that doctors also do not even look at constipation as a risk factor, but holistic practitioners absolutely do. And I would say that since this situation is such a situation, that we need to take a look at, or have everybody take a look at, each and every area in our lives and each and every nook and cranny in our lives. Why is constipation a factor? Because if you are not pooping 3 to 5 times a day, you are absolutely at risk, because 1 and 2 bowel movements per day is really functional constipation. And everyone I know, man or woman, who has had a heart event has a history of constipation. Every one of them. Every one of them. And here's the reason why. The colon is shaped like a hurdle, okay? Ascending colon, transverse colon is the hurdle at the top, the bar at the top, descending colon, the part that dumps out into the toilet, all right? The transverse colon that's up there at the top is very close to the heart, and it is malleable and pliable, and it's very thin like a piece of paper, and you can stretch it because it's a membrane, and it can only contain so much, y'all. So if you're not putting enough water in there to make it all go away, then it's just going to get in there trapped. So let's say you've had a lot to eat. Whatever you've had to eat today, you put it on that platter. This is for your sanctified imagination, okay? Put it on the platter, put it in the bathroom, turn up the heat all the way, close the door, and go back in there and check on it in a couple of days. What kind of condition is it going to be in? It's going to be putrefied. It's going to start to rot. It's going to smell. It might have bugs in it. It may be certainly slimy. This is what's going on inside of the colon. Yet, because it's a membrane, the colon is a membrane, the colon lining is a membrane, those toxins, the smell of it, and undigested food particles are just floating all around, just floating out of there. And the smell of it, the toxicity of it, is floating all over the body as well, and it's attaching itself directly to the heart. It's right above there. It has to be at risk. It's right there. And if we will deal with the fact that heart disease has equally as much to do with a dirty colon as it does to all of these other things, we will lick heart disease in this country. End of story. So, heart disease, though, now is the number one cause of both death and disability in the United States. And as a Black woman, you have an even higher chance of dying from heart disease. And at a younger age, get that, at a younger age compared to white women, according to the National Heart, Lung, and Blood Institute. Now, how big of a problem is this? Well, about 49% of African women over age 20 have had some kind of heart disease, like clogged arteries in the heart, arms, or legs, stroke, high blood pressure, or angina. And angina is simply chest pain. This means that 1 in every 2 women has had heart disease, or has heart disease. Now, let me say that again. That means that if you have had clogged arteries, stroke, high blood pressure, or angina, that's 1 in every 2 Black women has had heart disease. Hello? Do you hear me? The American Heart Association reports that only 30%, 36% of African American women are aware of the fact that heart disease is their biggest health risk. And only 20% of African American women think they are personally at risk for heart disease. The American Heart Association also says that Black women are nearly twice as likely to have a stroke compared with white women. Y'all, let's just stay with me here. I'm going somewhere, okay? When it comes to high blood pressure, African Americans, both men and women, are diagnosed more often than any other group in the whole wide world. And when you break down those numbers by gender, more Black women have high blood pressure than Black men, 46.3% compared to 45%. Now, there are several reasons why heart disease tends to be such a big issue for African Americans generally and for Black women specifically. And here's some of the reasons. Some of the biggest risk factors for heart disease tend to be more common in us than in any other races. And that's documented through the CDC, the American Heart Institute of Association, the NIH. Everybody tells us this. But are we listening? I needed a drink on that one, of water, by the way. And to make matters more complicated, these risk factors are often health problems in their own right. They are. For example, diabetes, high cholesterol, and obesity increase the risk of a person developing heart disease. And these are all issues that tend to be more common in African Americans as well. According also to the American Heart Association, genetics can play a key role in a person's risk level too. Research suggests that a gene carried by many African Americans can make the body more sensitive to salt, and this sensitivity can raise the risk of developing high blood pressure. Now, I'm just giving you these general facts, but this is one in which I disagree, okay? Our biography does not have to be our biology. I've said that repeatedly, and I'll say it again. Our biography does not have to be our biology. We all have a gene that makes us sensitive to salt, y'all. I don't care what color you are, because we're sensitive to salt. Anyway, but even the CDC says, I'm agreeing with the CDC again. They says that because you can get heart disease from your genes, sometimes you can also get it from picking up unhealthy habits from your parents. Oh yes, now this is the truth. We're getting down to the nitty-gritty here. This is the truth. The lifestyle we engage in comes from learned familial behaviors, especially in what we eat, y'all. You know that macaroni and cheese that has 5 cheeses in it and evaporated milk and a pound of butter, and that cake you make from Auntie's secret recipe is a heart attack on a plate waiting to happen. You know it. And you know the food that your mother fed your father killed your father. You know it. They're laughing at me in the studio, but true story, my father's dead. It's real. Remember, you do not have to inherit the diseases of mama, granny, and auntie and them unless you are eating what they ate. So please stop speaking disease into your life by saying, my mom had heart disease, so I'll have it eventually too. Remember that life and death are in the power of the tongue. And if you do what mama did, then sadly, yes, you will have what mama, daddy, auntie, and them had. If you stop what you're doing right now, turn around and walk in the opposite direction of mama, daddy, and auntie and them, you will not have their diseases. You won't. So if you're frying vegetables in grease or snacking on deep fried French fries a few times a week, whether you make them, cut them up, and make them yourself, or whether you're driving through a drive-through, you might want to replace those bad habits with healthier ones, because our poor choices are actually habitual. It brings us comfort to eat the food and make the recipes that mom and them ate. I know, and to go to the places where mom and them took us. I mean, when I go home to Chicago, like 2 weeks before, me and my husband already like we plan out our food runs. Yeah, so I know it brings us comfort to do that. It brings us comfort to eat. Well, I'm just thankful that I don't live in the city where I was raised. I'd be forever up in those places like the rest of the people in town. Okay, but you have to make a conscious choice. So when I do it occasionally on a vacation trip, it's not going to kill me, but that's where you want to be. You want to get to the point where you are eating in a healthy way and living such a healthy lifestyle that when you depart from it, just temporarily, and I don't mean a binge meal, I just mean a departure. Oh, I'm going to have one meal in one of my favorite spots where I grew up. And the rest of my meals are going to be on the healthy slant because now I'm living a healthier lifestyle. Do you understand what I mean? I hope you do. All right. Now you stay with me. Try some fresh and raw vegetables. Try some baked sweet potatoes. Try vegetables. And if you are going to get on a vegan diet, I want you to eat vegetables and not a steady diet of junk. Because this is what most vegans are eating these days. All right? Your arteries will breathe a sigh of relief. They will thank you.